In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about building a personal brand in 2026. And for context, I've been creating content on Instagram since 2013. That's around 13 years of creating Instagram posts every single day. I've coached thousands in fitness, hundreds of personal trainers at this point, build a successful online fitness business. Some of those guys have gone on to make 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, even 30 to 50K a month as online fitness coaches. So I've learned a lot over the years about building a personal brand. And one thing I'll tell you, this is different to what the other gurus are going to tell you, is that a personal brand is simply you just being yourself. And there is a way to be controversial without being rude or without being an idiot, without just saying stuff for the sake of it. And that's what I'm going to teach you and talk about in this video. So there are 3 things to consider when building a personal brand. When you look at your content, number 1, you want to make sure, are you being educational? Because fundamentally, as a coach, the only way to get people to actually give a shit about you and care about you is to become valuable. And the way to become valuable is to become useful. So you sharing your tips, your tricks, your hacks in your content, if those things aren't useful meaning that somebody can go and use them the next day or even better that day, then they're not going to perceive you as being an authority. And the way you build your personal brand is you raise your authority through things like I did at the start of the video. Referencing social proof, referencing people you've helped, how long you've been doing things, like things that you've achieved that are pretty cool. So educational content is going to be useful content. An example of this is going to be the next time you're in the gym training your biceps, instead of standing up and like swinging, make sure you sit down in a chair and do it this way. That's educational content. That's number 1 of 3. The second one, which is massively overlooked, usually because people's ego, maybe you've been guilty of this yourself before, is relational content. And relational content is sharing your mistakes, sharing the things you're struggling with, being vulnerable about the things you're personally going through right now. For example, it might be that you have recently messed up your own dieting phase. Maybe you've recently messed up a fat loss phase. Maybe you've recently messed up a muscle building phase. Maybe you had to overcome something. Maybe you've been breaking on your diet. You haven't been tracking your calories. You haven't been logging your weight. You went out one weekend and you messed up your entire diet. The thing is, to build a personal brand, you have to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is where a lot of personal trainers struggle because they think they need to look perfect all the time. But my clients need to trust me. They need to believe in me. They need to see me as an authority. Well, the best authoritarians, the best leaders, the best bosses of big businesses, they're the ones that have humility. They're the ones that share their own mistakes and their own journey. The third pillar you have to add in is aspirational content. So this is the opposite. This is you being willing to brag about the cool stuff you've done. Because if you're only ever talking about, what they should do, you should do this, you should stop doing this, you should start doing this, and you never talk about, here's what I do that's helped me achieve a great result. If I say to you, this is what you should do to grow your online business, or this is what I've done to make $1 million online in the last 12 months as an online coach. Instantly, by me telling you about what I've achieved personally, something that is aspirational to you, an online fitness coach that wants to build an online business, you're going to pay more attention to what I have to say. So look at areas in your life where you can create content about the things you've achieved that would be aspirational for someone else. So if you've achieved a 6-pack, where most men never have a 6-pack, or if you're a woman who's achieved, you can do pull-ups, or a certain time in a high rocks, or you've achieved a certain level of physique, or you did a photo shoot, or whatever. Think of cool shit that you've done that other people would perceive as being cool, and then talk about how you achieved it. That's it. So you've got educational content is one of your pillars to build your personal brand, become valuable through being useful. Number 2 is relational content. So talking about the stuff, the mistakes that you've made, both previously and currently. And then it's the aspirational content. Don't be afraid to have a humble brag. Like, you need to do that. For people to pay attention about who you are and what you're all about, you need to be willing to say, this is what I've achieved. Here's how I got a six-pack. Here's how I've been able to stay lean for the past 10 years. Here's how I managed to build a physique that's allowed me to sell fitness programs or do a photo shoot, or maybe you got offered to do a gig with a brand and you've got like a mini influencer gig. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to do a humble brag and then reference that in your content. So understand this, building a personal brand has never been more important with the likes of the AI content or the AI influencers or everybody sounding the same. The thing that's going to make you stand out is understanding the concept that people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. People buy from people. So for you to stand out, for you to become valuable, for people to want to hang out with you, not someone else, and give you their money, is through building a personal brand. And one of the best ways of doing this, I'm literally doing it right now, is starting to get on top of your YouTube content. Grabbing your phone like I've done here. Yes, I've got a ring light, but before the ring light, I could just sit in front of a window. I've got a microphone on. You don't need a microphone. The microphone on the iPhone is pretty good as well. You don't have to post every day. You could post one YouTube video a week. But if people come and spend time with you, if you've watched this video so far, if you found something useful, something aspirational, something relational, maybe I can tell you about the mistakes I've made wishing that I'd started YouTube sooner. If you hang out with me, then you're going to be even more likely and closer to wanting to work with me. So on that note, if you do want to learn more about working with me, message me the word info at Fitness Business Coaching on Instagram. Make sure to like the video if you found it useful. Subscribe if you feel like you can relate to me. And feel free to book in a call with me if you want to learn more about growing your online fitness business. Any questions, put them in the comments below. But do not sit and sleep on the opportunity that you have in front of you. There is a small window in the next few years to build your personal brand. I encourage you to start today.